Everything they've told you about investing is completely wrong, and it's what the richest people in the world don't want us to know. I mean, everything we know about making money, saving, investing, and retirement, it's all wrong. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the lies that they've been feeding us. I'm going to tell you how we can fix it right away. And understanding these things is what helped me reach my financial goals quicker than I would have imagined. I had to do it twice. I'll tell you about that, and it's helped thousands of other people. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So everything you've been told is wrong. And it's not just wrong, it's a lie. And what I mean by that is it's been intentionally told to you. I mean, this is not your fault. Everyone is struggling right now today, and it's because they don't know what's going on. And the reason why they don't know what's going on is because they haven't been taught properly in school, but they've been lied to. Now, what have they been lied to about? Well, let's look at this. So everything that we've been taught has been a lie. So the lie of going to school, getting good grades so I can get to a good college, go to a good college so I can get a good job so I can save money so I can retire. That's the lie. All right, think about this. So we're supposed to work for about 40 years, all right? And hopefully you're putting 10 to 15% of your money every year away, which is probably not happening, but let's say that it is. So you're making $50,000 a year, $5,000 a year goes into a savings, $10,000 a year goes into savings and investing. So you're putting 10 to 15% away for 40 years. And then after that 40-year period, all the money you've saved up is supposed to last you for 30 years, living comfortably. So if I think about this logically, if I put money in for 40 years, then I should be able to pull money back out for 40 years. But if I put say $10,000 a year in for 40 years, maybe I can pull $10,000 or $12,000 a year out for 40 years. But how can I put 10% of my money in for 40 years and then pull the same amount of money out for 30 years? Think about the math. It doesn't work. And it's not that it just doesn't work when you do it in your head. It doesn't work. And we see it over and over again. Right now we have the baby boomer generation. They're all retiring. They don't have any money. Over 50% of baby boomers have no money saved, and over half of them have over $100,000 of debt. So it hasn't worked. The track record shows it doesn't work. So why? Why do they tell us this if it doesn't work? So like any good murder mystery or TV show you might watch is like, what's the motivation? Why have they been lying to you? Well, the governments want to prop up the markets, maybe. Is that far-fetched? Do you believe that? Well, let's take a look. They want us to think that the market is the economy. Look at what's going on right now, like literally right now today. The Fed, the Central Bank of the United States, the Fed is literally injecting money into the markets right now today. Hundreds of billions of dollars over the last week alone have been injected into the markets to keep them from falling. They want to tell you that the markets, the stock markets, etc., are the economy. And if the stock markets stay high, then the economy is doing good. Well, it has nothing to do with the economy. The economy is like production, not the stock markets. But they want to keep those stock markets propped up. And so they tell you that lie, and they want you to keep, they want those markets to stay propped up because Wall Street wants you to keep your money in there. Why? Why do they want you to keep your money in the markets? Well, because they make money with your money. As a matter of fact, they make money with your money whether you make money or not. They're extracting fees from you. Even when you're losing money, they're still making money. They have the most expensive real estate in the world. Have you been to New York City? Have you seen what's going on in the financial district? They have the biggest towers in the most expensive zip codes, and they've made all of that off of your fees and your money. So as long as your money's there, whether you're making money or not, they're making money. So they want you to keep the money in there. The government wants you to keep the money in there. The markets are up, the economy's up, and supposedly everything is good, but it's not the way it is. So think about this. The math doesn't work, right? You can't just save for 40 years 10% and then retire on 100% for 30 years. It doesn't work, right? And so we need to step back and refocus our aim, let's say, right? Like we need to go, okay, well, if that doesn't work, if saving and putting 10% away or whatever, 20% away and for retirement, it doesn't work, well, where do I need to aim, right? And I love this quote up on the screen right here. This is from the movie Alice in Wonderland. And she was lost and there was all the signs on the trees. And she stopped and she asked the Cheshire Cat, which way should I go? Right, there was all the signs. She didn't know where she was. So where should I go? And he says, Well, it depends. It depends on where you want to go. And of course she says, well, I don't know where I want to go, but and I guess I wasn't going to get into that part, but I guess that's actually where everybody is today, right? I don't know where I want to go. They've told me, my education system, the mainstream media, the talking heads on TV, Wall Street, they have told me that if I just put a little bit away for 40 years, I'm going to have enough saved. I'll have enough saved to live off of for the rest of my life. So that's where we're going. But it doesn't work. Like I said, we have proof of that. So if we want to go somewhere different, we have to make a different plan, right? So like she said, which way should I go? It depends on where you want to go. So if we want to go somewhere different, then we need to make a direction change. Where should we be going? Where we've been going doesn't work. Where we've been going is not going to work anymore. So what we need to do is, instead of that age-old lie we've been told, which is saving, so that one day I can live off of my savings, instead of doing that, what we need to be focused on is building income, investing for income, right? How many of you guys have ever been out of work, right? Have you ever seen your bank? Have you ever seen like where there's no money coming in? Maybe you're in between jobs, or you've lost your job, or whatever the situation is, and you've come to a situation where there's no money coming in, right? I think we've all been there. And let's say that you're in that period. Well, what are you doing? You're either living off of your savings, right? Or maybe off of your credit. Hopefully not your credit. Hopefully you have savings for that, but you're living off of your savings. And when you're in that situation, you hate to see those savings dwindling, right? You want to start getting that income back as soon as possible. You want to be living off of your income, so your savings are going up. You don't want to see your savings going down. So that's the same way that we want to continue on with our lives. So if we're focused on our lives like that, if we know that's the winning recipe now, then that's going to continue to be the winning recipe. So we want to focus on building income. So how do we do that? How do we do that? They don't teach us that. Nobody tells us about that. Nobody talks about that. Nobody on any of CNBC is talking about that. No, Wall Street doesn't talk about that. So how do we do it? How do we get there? So first thing is, we need to build income. Obviously, we've said that, right? Build other forms of income. So most of our income is from our job. That's earned income. We want to be building passive income. So that's income that comes in without us having to work directly for it. And so we want to focus on that. I'll give you some ways to do that. But the thing is just like anything that we build, we want to start slowly at first. So we start at the base. So the first thing, if we were going to build a building like this one on the screen, is that we would first come up with a plan. So we would talk to some architects, and we would come up with some drawings and what is it that we're trying to build. Then we would then we'd grade the land, then we'd build a foundation, then we start to build on it, and we do it in stages. So just like that, we want to build income, and we want to start slowly. And the beauty is you can start really slowly, and let's just try to focus on getting $100 a month of income coming in. But what happens is, as soon as you start to see $100 a month of income coming in, all of a sudden you're like, well, shoot, let's try to get that to $200 a month. And then $500 a month. The next thing you know, $1,000 a month. And now it becomes addictive. And just like any goal setting program, right? You want to have these little wins so that it builds momentum into the next one. And so just focus on $100 a month. Like get $50 a month of income, whatever that number is, $25 a month, right? It doesn't really matter. The point is can I get $25 a month of income? Because if I can get $25 a month of income, I can get $25,000 of income. All we have to do is scale that game up. Now, where can we start doing that? Now, one of the biggest traps that people fall into is they think, well, I can't build income because I don't have enough money. And so you can start really small. We can make passive income off of like dividend paying stocks. There's plenty of stocks that you can buy through your brokerage right now today, where you can make 4 or 5% on your money, maybe 7-8% on your money. So 7-8% on your money, that's something, right? That's something. We can buy bonds. Bonds are basically debt, right? So they pay interest on the debt. And so we could, make 5, 6, 7, 8% interest on that as well. We can do peer-to-peer loans. So 8, 10% on peer-to-peer loans. Real estate, of course, is my favorite one. It's a bigger one. It takes a little bit more money. You might need a couple $1,000s to get into some of that, into some of the smaller deals. But then you're making $400 or $500 a month of passive income. So those are some of the ways that you can start, but you don't need to have all this money. It doesn't have to be someday, maybe one day. Start right now. Can I get $25 a month of passive income coming in? And then you start to grow from there. And the thing is that once you start making a little bit of money, it starts growing faster and faster and faster and faster because it compounds, right? And so what happens is the income that's coming in, you have a job. Hopefully you have a job, so you have income coming in. So you invest for cash flow. You can take that cash flow and then turn that cash flow into more cash flow. So you keep working over here, and maybe you're adding a little bit, but that cash flow now, that money's working, and you're putting that money back to work, and you're expanding it, right? You're compounding it. And the other way that you can really make this go a lot faster, and a lot of people don't want to hear this, is that you keep your expenses really, really low. So the object of the game is to start to build passive income, right? But the goal to win the game is to get that passive income to meet or exceed the amount of your monthly expenses. So what are your monthly expenses? How much do you pay for your rent, for your car payment, your cell phone, how much you spend for food, etc.? Is that $2,000 a month? Is it $5,000 a month? Is it $20,000 a month? We don't know, but find out what that number is for you. Try to get that number as low as possible. Keep it as low as possible. So say it's $2,500 a month. Now you're making $100 a month of passive income, $200, $500, $700, and keep the expenses low, get the passive income up. And once you've met that number, now you've won the game. Then the goal is to, if you want to increase your expenses, first create the passive income first. All right, and that's the way that you'll scale it, and that's the way that you grow this really, really fast. So the reason why we want to do this is because it's the only way we'll ever be free. And I'm talking about free in almost every sense of the word, definitely financial free. I know that for a lot of people, they took on debt when they went to college, right? Before they've even really entered the world, the working world, full adulthood, they went to college, they took on debt. They got credit card debt. And so literally, while you're in school, before you even started working on your full-time career, you have debt. And what that means is that you always have to be working, and you always have to be making a certain amount of money, because you always have to be paying that debt. And you can't get to a point where like, let me just take a year off, or let me take 6 months off, or why don't I just go try this little passion project? You can't do any of that, because you always have to make a certain amount of money to pay that certain amount of debt. And so you've always been a slave. And what happens is even as we start getting older, we've talked about this several times before, we have the rich trap. And so as you start making more money, you're moving up in your career, you're making more money, now you're making 6 figures, well, you buy a bigger house, and you buy a bigger car, and you go on more vacations, and you're spending more money, but you're still just as broke as you were when you were not making much money, right? And so that you're still a slave, you're just a rich slave. So now you have to work even harder to maintain your lifestyle, to keep your head above water, right? So like I said, the extra income is nice, but you want to get to a point where the passive income exceeds your expenses, because then you're free. Then you're free to focus on your passions, your hobbies, helping other people, and all these things. And so that's the goal. Now, like I said, you need to start slowly. Just focus on $25 a month or $100 a month. So you're not going to get to the point where you're financially free right away. So that means that you're going to need more money to continue to put into more passive income. So you're not going to put all your money into passive income. You still want to put other money into high growth areas so you can try to earn more money to put into passive income. You want to put money into other areas like chaos hedges, in case the markets go crazy, you don't lose whatever money savings that you have. You definitely want to keep cash around for opportunities and for emergencies and things like that. And so those are the areas that you want to put your money. But hopefully, as things continue to progress in your own life, and you're building your portfolios and you're building more money, you're starting to put more and more into the cash flow allocation. I like to keep it simple. There's only really 4 areas that I like to put my money. I call them the 4 pillars, and that is income. That's what we're talking about right now. Obviously, I want to continue to grow other money so I can put it into income. I want to keep cash, like I talked about, and then I want to keep chaos hedges like gold and things like that. If you want to know more about those 4 things, I have a report that you can download it for free down below. Let me know what you think about that. And otherwise, leave me any comments that you have. Let me know what struggles that you have with trying to build passive income. If you have any questions, I'd love to communicate. I'd love to talk back and forth on all the comments down below. I love it. So give me some thumbs up if you like the video. If you don't like it, give me some thumbs down. But either way, let me know. And that's it. To your success.